Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and well, an interesting puzzle today. It's not just crop key, there are some prime number issues going on, and we will investigate this in a moment. Debutant to the channel, I believe. Looking forward to giving it a go. But first of all, don't forget, on Patreon from the 1st of May, we will be featuring this very new puzzle hunt and a Sudoku hunt, effectively. We think you will enjoy it greatly. It's not complete as I'm recording this, but it probably is by the time the video is being shown, because it's right on that cusp. And we're looking forward to bringing that to you. We've also, of course, got loads of other content on Patreon. There's all our apps, which include Crop Key Sudoku, and there's Sven's SUDOKU PAD and our merchandise, all available on the links under the video. But the first link is to this puzzle called Primal Roots by Matt Tressel. And here come the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box of the grid. No given digits, of course. Digits separated by a white dot are consecutive. Digits separated by a black dot are in a 1 to 2 ratio. Now, the prime digits, which are listed as 2, 3, 5, and 7, must not be orthogonally adjacent to each other. So if 2 was there, 3 couldn't be in any of those cells, nor 5 or 7. Also, square roots with single-digit perfect squares must be orthogonally adjacent to their square. Now, luckily, it specifies exactly what that means. All 2's must be adjacent to a 4. And all 3's must be adjacent to a 9. We're ignoring 1, obviously, for the purposes of that rule, because it wouldn't work at all. We did have a puzzle recently where in fact, 2 or 3 people complained about the wording of the rules on the basis of something that would clearly have been, that you could have interpreted the rules to mean, but would clearly have been impossible in the context of that puzzle. I can't see the purpose of that sort of pedantry. I know that this corner of the internet is somewhere where pedantic people probably should hang out, but context still matters. And anyway, in this case, every 2 must be adjacent to a 4 in the grid, and every 3 must be adjacent to a 9. So this is quite an odd grouping of rules. I use odd not in any mathematical sense, but in a peculiar sense. Anyway, give it a try on the link under the video. I'm going to start now and reset my clock and say, let's get cracking. Now, we have a sequence of digits here. Black dot digits. So this must either go 1, 2, 4 or 2, 4, 8 in one direction or the other. This one can't be a 1 because it's in between 2 dots that can't therefore both be 2's. So that's 2, 4, or 8. Now, the trouble with these is that they include a prime, because 2 is a prime. You often think that the even digits don't include primes, but of course there is one overlap. Okay. Right, look at these sequences of dots in column 8. And actually, I'll have a look at these in column 4 in a moment. But bear in mind, we mustn't put a 2 next to a 3, according to the rules. So 2, 3 never appears on these sequences. And that's quite interesting. So this sequence of 4 digits can't include 1, because then it would include 2 and 3. Can't include 2 for the same reason. It could include 3. So it could go 3, 4, 5, 6. Or it could be anything up to 6, 7, 8, 9. But there's definitely a 6 in that group of digits. Now, what are the implications for this group? I suppose this could also be 3, 4. Yeah. I was wondering if this was... Well, this probably isn't going to be 1, 2. Let me just think about that. This digit can't be a 1 because of all the dots surrounding it that would all lead on to 2's. If this was a 1 and this was a 2, that would be 3, and this would be 4, and this would be impossible. Yeah, just imagine that for a second. If this was a 1 and that was a 2, you'd have to be going 1, 2, 3, 4 around these white dots. Nothing else is possible. And then this black dot becomes impossible. So this is not a 1, 2 pair. It can't be a 2, 3 pair by the rules. Therefore, well, it's either, I think it could be 3, 4, 4, 5, but then you have to leave out all the possibilities with 6 in. Then it can be 7, 8 or 8, 9. Now that doesn't leave many options for this cell. It can be an 8 in either of those higher options. It can't be a 7 or a 9 because of the black dot. In the lower options we were saying it was 3, 4 or 4, 5. Well, we can't put a 5 on the black dot. So we're now down to 3, 4 or 8 for this digit. I think that's reasonable. I don't think we've done anything weird or difficult there in a way. And this is therefore either part of a 3, 4, oh, it could be a 5, bother. That's got quite a lot of options, I suppose, is the word I should use. That didn't go quite as far as I was planning. Now, let's try column 4. So, we've got 2 sequences of 3 digits and a black dot to allow here. And again, we can't put 2, we can't put 2, 3 on either of these white sequences. Therefore, we can't put 1 on any of them either. So 1 and 2 do not appear in these sequences. And therefore, they're 2 trios from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, 1 and 2 must appear in this group of cells in the column, and therefore at least one of them's on this black dot. So the black dot is either 1, 2 or 2, 4. And there's definitely a 2 on it, therefore. I don't think it can be 2, 4, because that would be a 1. And then how are you going to get 3 onto one of these sets with 4 having gone? So that is a 1, 2 pair. Another way that this can't be a 1, 2 black dot. But these, well, they're either 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, or 7, 8, 9. I think this digit has to be 3, 6, or 9, accordingly. Now, I have not been thinking about this rule yet, about the prime digits not being allowed to be orthogonally adjacent to each other. Apart from the 2, 3 impossibility, which was interesting. But I'm wondering now if there are some holistic issues. Like, if you made that cell prime, and here I'm not just talking about this cell because it's got 2 or 4 in it. I'm talking about any cell in the middle of the side of a 3 by 3. Let's just think about colouring it. If we made that prime, these ones couldn't be, these 3 cells. But you'd still have to fit 3 primes into this that couldn't touch each other. They would have to go in those 3 cells. So I think that this is right, that any time you put a prime in a position like this in a 3 by 3, it dictates this sort of diamond pattern of 4 primes in the box. Yeah, I mean, I can see that actually, because if there's 1 prime here and 2 non-prime, you still have to fit 3 primes in here. They must be in positions that don't touch each other, so they're going to have to be in a diagonal arrangement, and only one of those works. Okay, well that's an interesting finding. So if this was a 3, i.e. a prime, Oh, well, that would be 2 and 4, and that would be 6. Well, I mean, you're almost forced to have 5, 7, 9 in those positions anyway. Okay, what about this string of black and white dots then? Ah, yeah, okay, let's bear in mind that this pair is from the 1, 2, 4, 8 family. So, can this be from the 1, 2, 4, 8 family? It'd be lovely if we could say no, it must be from 3, 6. But actually, it can't be 2, 4 because that would break that cell. So that one pair is ruled out. But it could be 1, 2 forming a pair with that one. Well, forming a 2 by 2, and then 1 and 2 would be down in these cells. Okay, let's imagine it's 1, 2. The 1 would have to be here, 2 there, 3, 4 on the white dots, and then 8. Okay, but you'd have 2 next to 3, and that's not allowed. I'd forgotten that. Okay, good. So this is not a 1, 2 pair, and it's not a 2, 4 pair. So it's either 4, 8 or 3, 6. Now, if this went 4, 3, no, it couldn't go 4, 3. That's not a black dot pair. Let's imagine this was a 4, 8 pair. So then we'd know this was 2, 1, and that would be 4. This I'm imagining as 4, 8. Okay, well this can't, oh no, if it went 4, 8, this sequence would have to run down. So it would go 4, 8, 7, 6, 3. That seems to work fine. I'm going to sketch in the possibilities just in case I can eliminate any. If it went 8, 4, we're not allowed to go 4, 3, 2 because 3, 2 would go together. So it would be 4, 5, 6, 3. That's weird. That ends in the same. Okay, and now otherwise it's 3, 6 as a pair. This could go 6, 5, 4, 2 or 8. Or it could go 6, 7, 8, 4. Oh my goodness, there are far more possibilities than I expected. And I haven't even tried 6, 3, can't go 2 because of the 2, 3 rule. 4, 5. Okay, it can't do that either. So this, it can't go 6 and then 3. At least we could rule out one possibility. And now, well, that's interesting. If this black dot was 3, 6, it forces this to be a 4, 8. If this was 4, 8, it forces this to be a 3, 6. Oh, this has become 5 or 7. That is definitely prime. And then the digits around it must be non-prime. So this can't be a 3 anymore. Is that wonderful? Okay, it's not wonderful, but it means 3 is on one of these white dot sequences. So one of them goes 3, 4, 5 in one direction or the other. The centers must be from 4, 7 or 8 now. If any of them is a 7, which is prime, that's going to form this prime pattern in its box. I don't know, in some way I feel like I have made some progress there, although it may not amount to very much. Right, if that was a 3, this couldn't go 2, 1 or it would break that cell. So if that's a 3, this has to go 4, 5. I don't think this is worth pursuing, actually. I'm going to do it anyway. If that was a 3, this has to go 4, 5. If that's a 4, we can't go 3, 2, or we'll have 3, 2 being a pair, a domino. So it would have to go up to 5, 6. And if it's an 8, it will have to go down to 7 and then 6. That's quite interesting. It feels like we've got somewhere there. For this to be an 8, 9, or a 7-8. I don't know. I was wondering about this being 6-5-4-3. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of breakthroughs to be done here, but I still do think I am struggling to make any of them. Now, we do still have to fit in. Once you've done that... Oh, yes, you can no longer put primes in those positions, because a prime in one of those positions forces that pattern of primes. Oh, that's interesting. That is a general principle, in fact. That's worth learning. There may be other general principles that I'm missing, but basically one of these is going to have to be prime, at least. Because this isn't room for all the primes in the box. So either that's a 3 or that's a 3 or a 2. If that was a 3, what happened? 6, 7, 8, 4 is possible. 3, 6, 5, 4, 2 or 8. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. You could even have 3 there and 2 there, which is a pity because it means I can't actually designate these as non-prime. Oh, okay. In this row, I've got to fit 4 primes in. None of them can touch each other. If I didn't have one there, then I could put 1 in that pair, 1 in that pair, and 1 in that pair. I couldn't get a 4th one. So that is definitely prime. And then there is 1 in this pair, there is 1 in this pair, and there is 1 in this pair. And, oh, there's 1 in this pair. So in at least one of those instances, I am creating the diamond pattern in the box. Now, if this was, oh no, it's 2, 3, 5, 7, isn't it? That would have to be a 3. So I'm picturing this as the prime pattern in these two, one of which is going to provide the prime diamond pattern. If it was here, this is a 3. You've got 2, 3, 5, 7. This is a 4. That doesn't work, does it? We can't have 4 there and 3 there, because that would have to be 2. How did I not work this out before? This can't be a 4. That is 3, 5, 7, or 9, which is almost guaranteed prime. But anyway, I was thinking this was a 3. So it can't be a 3. If I can't put 2 on either side of it, it was never able to be a 3. I'm so sorry. Right, that is a 4 or 8. This is from the 2, 4, 8 family. There's definitely a 4 used in one of those cells, so we can rule out 4 from these. This is now 5 or 7, and that is prime. And therefore these cells are not the prime diamond. Basically, all of these are now non-prime, and to fit in enough primes in row 8, both of those are going to be primes now, so that pattern applies in box 8, and that is a 2. There's our first digit. Oh, it's quite complicated. 15 minutes in before I figured that out. I mean, you may have done that a lot quicker, and there may be another way to approach it, but there we go. Now, this is a white dot pair, and that's 5 or 7, so I think this is 6. This either goes 4, 5, 6 or 8, 7, 6. Yeah, it has to. That's so weird. So this is a 9. None of these are an 8. These groups are 8, 7, 6 and 3, 4, 5. So that can't be a 7 because that would force this prime pattern and we'd have touching primes. So that's a 4. That's a 7, which does force the prime pattern up here. Now this can't touch it and be prime, so that's a 4. It can't be 2 anymore. In fact, I can colour in an awful lot of non-prime green there, at least. I can count down the central column and make that green. This is a 2 and an 8 pair. And one of those is prime and one isn't. Now, 4 there means this is not a 4. Have I ruled 4 out of here? Yes, because 4's on that black dot. I am confident that's right. So this is now 3. And that's 6. And that doesn't decide what that is. It does rule 6 out of there and 3 out of there. And this 3 is prime. So I think I'm on the right track here. That's not 3. 3, 1, 6. One of those is 4. We've got a 5, 7 pair. These are from 2, 8, 9. Well, that's not prime, so it's not 2. This is not 2 or 3. That's 5 or 7. So one of these is a prime 2. This is a 3, 5 pair. That's very straightforward. They're both prime. That one isn't now by the rules. This is a 6, 8 pair. These are 2, 3, and 5. These cells are 1. Oops, how did 6 get in that? These are 1, 4, and 9. That one can't be a 4. This pair is a 4, 8 pair. Wow, this is weird. This, I think it could be anything out of 1, 3, 7, or 9. I can't really see a way to determine that. Ah, but now that's green. I'd forgotten this business. I can make all of these green, because if they were purple, the whole thing wouldn't fit together. Now this can't be 3 or 7. It is 1 or 9. That's so strange as well. 6, 4, 2, 3, 5, 7, 1, 4, 6, 8, 9. These are from 1, 8, and 9. That could still be prime. Only one of these is prime. So the other 3 primes in the box are in those cells. In this column, the only way I'm going to fit 4 primes in is in those positions. That deals with all the primes in box 4. Right, now what have we got going on here? We've got a prime here on a black dot. So that's 2 or 3. This next one can't be 4 by Sudoku. It can't be 1 because then it couldn't connect to anything there. So that's a 3. That's a 6. This must do something else in the column, doesn't it? That can't be an 8, 9 pair because of that cell. Aha! I think we are making significant progress here, actually. Right, 6 there, 8 there. That's not a 1. I really think this is coming together for me now. That's a 5 or a 7. That's a 2. That was just Sudoku. This is a 5, 7 pair. And this is either 4 or 8, as is this, in fact. That's a 4, 8 pair. So there's no 8 in those cells. This is now 2 or 4. So one of these is a 4 on this black dot. And that isn't a 4, therefore. And now that's an 8, so that's a 4. That's a 2, that's 9, that's 8, this is 5, that's 7. We get to finish the box with a 1. We get to colour these because I know what they literally are. That becomes a 5. Now I can do this white dot sequence. Finish the column, finish that cell. These are the 3, 5 pair that are prime, and that's a 6 there. This can't be 2. Now, I still haven't approached this. Ooh, if it had to have a 7 on it, it would be in that cell. Oh no, it's 6 is in one of those 2 cells now. Neither of those are able to be a 6 by Sudoku. There's probably a much quicker way into it. Let's just do Sudoku until we figure it out. 3, 4, 5. We've still got to fit 2 and 7 into this box. By Sudoku, they seem to have to go there. I can do a bit more greening. 3, 5, 4, 2, 7. This digit is 1 or 9. I I think it's probably quite straightforward from here, but I don't know how to do it. 3, 5, 8 and 9 still to place. Now this is non-prime, so it's not 3 or 5. That's a 5-7 pair. So these are a 2-4 pair. Yes, that is very straightforward. Now that has to be a 5. Then we get 7, 3, 5. That's a 3 now. This is 8 or 9. I can do some colouring. Might as well keep doing that because I want to. One of these is a 7. Not there in the prime position. Now, I haven't thought about the extra rule at all. It'll be quite interesting to see if we need that suddenly at some point, about 2s having to be adjacent to 4s and 3s being adjacent to 9s. Now, what have we got here? We've either got 5, 6, 7, 8 or 6, 7, 8, 9. We can't have a 6 here. That's true. So that's a 1 with a 6, 7 pair. So we need to get a 2 into one of these cells. So this one cannot be a 2 because once that went green, all of these cells have to be non-prime. So the 2 is going to have to go here. And then all of these cells are prime. And that can't be the 6. The 6 goes here. This is a 5, 7 pair. We know which way round they go thanks to that 7. And there we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a 9. Those two are non-prime. That one is prime. Still got to resolve. We need 2 more primes in the top row. This must all be very much done now. That has become a 2. That's just Sudoku. 7 there. These are prime in the row. They're 3 and 5. That's part of a 1, 9 pair. This is a 6, 8 pair that are resolved. 9, 5, 6, 6, 2, 4, 7. That's become a 3. Sorry, it takes me a while to see what is just done naturally. Oh, look, all of those non-prime digits are done. This is a 1, 8 pair. We've got 1, 8, 9, 5, 6. We've got... So what is this, a black dot that I keep on not looking at? This one is 1, 4 or 9. No, it can't be a 9 on a black dot. So that's 1 or 4. This must be a 2 and is a prime digit. So that's non-prime. I can count up primes and make that prime and that not prime, and I can then fill in those digits. And that 2 is fixing 5, 2 and 5, 3. And we get a 4 to finish the row. 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spot. Light losing its religion. Now, that's a 9, that's a 1. This 5, 3 pair's been done for a while. That's a 4. That's a 4 by Sudoku now. The only place it can go in the box. We've got 1, 6 and 9 to place. 6 is placed in that row. That's 1 or 9. And now, here we are. And now I think finally I have to use this other rule. So all 2s must be adjacent to 4s. How are we doing on that? Yes, 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 yes. We've done that, just naturally. All 3s must be adjacent to 9s. Well, they all are so far. And here it is. It's these 2 3s. That one is going to end up being adjacent to a 9 in one of those positions. But these 2 3s need to be adjacent to a 9. And that makes this cell a 9. And that is going to finish the puzzle. That's an intriguing disambiguation at the end there. We finally used that extra rule. And there we go. Brilliant. That's a very clever puzzle, but took a real lot of getting into and then not a lot of finishing off after that, thank goodness. But very entertaining. Great stuff from Matt Tressel. Look, I wonder if this final pattern is entirely symmetrical. Let's just remove the green and look at the purple. It is, isn't it? Look at that, fully rotationally symmetrical final pattern of primes. Intriguing. Okay, thank you for watching, as always on the channel, and thanks to Matt for sending in primal roots. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.